welcome. Hello, what are we? Welcome to Flappity Flap Podcast with your hosts, Brandon and Sarah. Forgot my intro. It was pretty complicated. It's hard to remember.
Are you doing okay?
Are you doing okay, hairy leg scratcher? So, did you want to talk about
Which?
your thing?
What are we talking about? We're talking about me farting? Or are we talking about my client?
Wherever you want to start.
Let's start off with a fart.
Okay.
Let's start with a high note.
Well, especially
or a
because you're...
low note.
Oh. I can't do it. Like,
Try again.
No, I can't.
You can't do a fart noise?
No, I was trying to do a foghorn. Of course I can do a fart noise.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can do a foghorn.
So I apparently have a habit of farting in my sleep. Maybe not a habit, but Brandon, I think I've heard Brandon fart like in his sleep, like in the morning, because that seems to be when it happens, like one time, right?
I have woken myself up many times.
Many?
And I'm sure you guys out there have done it as well, where you you wake up and you're like, it's a sudden wake up, and because you're sleepy, it's like, what was that honk sound? Did I just fart myself awake? Mm-hmm. I'm sure we've talked about this again.
I think we did. I think we had maybe not a whole episode, but a good chunk of an episode about you farting yourself awake.
So I farted myself awake this last time, and Sarah was, what'd you say?
Did I say, was that a foghorn or something? Because it was kind of one of those like...
Something really rude like that.
Like, how would you describe the sound that, like it's in a tunnel or
just
what?
Just a really low honking fart.
Like when you do a fart and the toilet bowl just like catches it and it's like this low and it's like...
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was gonna just like turn over and just, pretend it didn't happen, but you woke up from it and you kind of like turned. I think you were maybe checking to see if I heard it, because he's definitely more like...
Well, I usually, when I wake up, I usually check to see if you're there, because sometimes, you like start work and I'm like, what the fuck time is it,
Mm-hmm. I thought you were checking to see if, like, did she catch that?
I think sometimes I do, but usually when I fart myself awake, I'm just confused. Like a newborn baby, just like, what the fuck is this place? That's how I feel like every morning.
Because you're okay. Not specifically because you farted yourself awake and you're like startled and disoriented. Just always waking up.
Just always waking up. But especially, waking up from a fart. It's like, what the fuck was that?
So I just couldn't resist, because it was like a very specific, tone to it.
There's something...
He was like, so he was not super happy about it.
Was that a foghorn? I was laughing, but I was ashamed.
Yeah.
It's how it is.
And then he's had to like say in a moment of retaliation, I've heard you fart in your sleep a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh.
It's fun-embarrassing.
Right. Good times. So now it's like a thing. So I think when you're kind of being a little sassy or annoying, I'm just like, okay, foghorn.
Oh yeah, she started calling me fucking foghorn.
Only when you're being very rude. I'm sure you call me stuff that's when you're annoyed by me. When you're annoyed by me? Yeah.
I think it's just the generic names. Generic shit-talking names.
Okay, right.
I think I pull names from my dad. Because he used to, like, call me Goobus. Like, what are you doing, Goob? If I was, like, wrenching on something the wrong way or, being stupid.
Yeah.
So I kind of...
Well, it's like when I call people Bobo.
Bobo. Yeah, Bobo.
When we're driving.
So the first time we were driving and you called somebody Bobo, like a jerk driver or something. Yeah. I was so confused because it's just a you family thing. Yeah.
It's just my mom. My mom
your family has those things though.
Oh, like Skanky instead
Skanky.
of...
When we were talking about Stanky.
Yeah.
You were stinky or something, you were sweaty, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so skanky." And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" She's like, stanky. It's like, no, they're different words.
So I think it was my Aunt Tina who learned the word but didn't really learn like what it meant or the harshness of it. Like, it's just not like a catch-all term for like being dirty. Like, oh, you can call a hoe a skank, or you can call just someone who hasn't had a shower a skank. And so I think she just started saying, like, a couple times I would hear her, like, she'd kind of be like, oh, I just feel skanky, like, because I haven't had a shower kind of thing. And I was like, but then it kind of was funny to me, and then it kind of became a thing.
Freaking ironically saying it, and then you start saying it for real.
Like nuclear.
No, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
Ever since I saw Harrison Ford say it, I think, or maybe President Bush.
Nuclear explosion?
Yeah. It was like, I'm going to say that to be funny.
To be clear, because I think it is a commonly missaid word, it's nuclear. Like, clear eyes.
Yes. So anyway.
My dad says nuclear.
Yeah. But don't you think he says it stubbornly?
Yeah. I have... Well, my brain just went blank there for a second. I have corrected him.
What's funny is watching it happen. Like, just watching you go.
My mind just like went completely blank.
Yeah.
So I have corrected him on many occasions. He'll be talking about something and he's a smart man, but then he'll say nuclear and I'm like, oh my God, it's nuclear. And he'll just be like, fucking whatever, and just continue.
He'll say
talking.
It like that? That's aggressive.
That's his attitude. He doesn't say that. He just like, it's like, I don't give a fuck. Same with my mom and pronunciation. Like, no, it's pronunciation.
Yeah.
She's like, she has this attitude of, I don't give a fuck.
I think they do not like to be corrected. It's like when I, like, second or third time I was over there and it was like, you were like, oh, Sarah told me this thing. It's Canada geese, not Canadian geese. And she was like, well, I'm from Canada. It's Canadian geese. And I was like, okay.
My mom said that?
Something like that.
My mom's not from Canada. She has
maybe she said, I have family in Canada and it's Canadian geese. And I was like, well, maybe just because you call it that doesn't
Canada
mean...
geese. It's just a
or Stellar's jays. Yeah. And it's like, man.
Yeah. There's a lot of things like that,
to be told. Yeah.
Some I can't handle as well. I catch myself doing that same thing where it's like, it's been that all my life. I can't, but
that's different.
I have to work hard to say it the correct way.
Yeah.
How did we get on that from fucking foghorn farts?
I don't know. I could try to trace it back, but I think it was a long.
That's okay.
It was a long road.
You don't have to.
So I went to the dentist today, and I was just talking to Brandon about, I feel like every dentist I've gone to for the last 10 or more years has been super friendly, and their staff is always like super friendly, and it's like this friendly team, and they're kind of like looking after you, and I usually have like a good rapport. And
they're usually chill places.
Yeah. But I was just observing how I think they just have a different, I don't know if it's bedside manner, just a different like touch than like other healthcare providers, because they just all have like, I don't know, they're like Hulk hands.
I've never really felt like cattle at a dentist's office. No. Whereas at a proper, I don't know why I said proper, at a doctor's office.
Yeah.
I fairly often feel like a number.
I mean, I actually felt like today he was moving fast for me. I mean, he said that, so we can get you back to work. He was like, I'll squeeze you in before this tooth pull I have to do. And I was like...
Whispering? They're like, what?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
He was. I think they were directly in the next room, and I was like, it's fine if you need to take care of that, because I just scheduled my appointment like yesterday. I had a filling fall out. I guess because I grind, and it kind of pushed the filling out or something. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, it's fine. I'll get you out of here. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's
we'll
so nice.
We'll sneak you in before this fucking loser.
Oh yeah, did I mention
here.
He doesn't know how to whisper?
That's a thing. Oh my God,
that hurt.
Back to my parents.
Yeah.
My dad does that all the time.
And your dad talks a lot of trash.
Yeah.
So that's awkward.
He does.
Awkward.
So we'll be at like the supermarket or something. He'll put his hand up and be like, check out this fat lard behind me. And it's like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh. You don't
not
understand what
whispering.
the hand means also. Like,
you don't understand that like people can hear better than you.
Your hand has just made it like a bullhorn. Wow.
Your hand is doing no good when you're not whispering.
Oh my gosh.
Also, it's drawing attention to you because you're sticking your hand up in a very obvious whispering
Like,
style.
what are you, a teenage girl? Golly.
Haven't you ever been? My grandma does that too. She'll be like, oh my God, these people back here. And it's like, Grandma, your ears aren't as good as
Your
certain
mouth?
other people. No.
Yeah.
You know, certain other people who are probably hearing everything you're saying right now about them.
Yeah, that's like my grandpa Tom, who because he can't hear, and he wears hearing aids, but he still kind of can't hear. He thinks that other people can't hear, or he can't hear the loudness of his voice. So he was in some restaurant with my aunt and uncle and my grandma, and someone behind him, I think it was like a tile floor, and there were like wood chairs, and the person was like adjusting their chairs, so it's like and echoey.
Yeah.
And they're trying to have a conversation, and he's like, well, I try to have a conversation, or I'm trying to hear you, but this guy behind me keeps... And they're just like, oh my God.
Well, that just sounds like aggression instead of like...
Well, he is kind of a jerk, but...
Look at these goofy-ass freaks behind me.
But I think the thing is, if he could hear, he would have lowered his fucking voice,
Yeah.
But he couldn't, and then just...
He's also just kind of that type of big man that's just like...
Yeah. What's this guy gonna do? Come fight me? I'm like 6'4" and 260, 80 pounds, whatever.
Some kind of number.
But anyway, so back to my dentist story, which is super riveting. So really nice guy, really nice staff. But when they get in there in my mouth, I'm like, God damn. First of all, the x-ray lady was doing it too. She's like, so apparently I have like kind of a small mouth or cheeks, or my last dentist was like, you have a very feminine jaw. And then this lady today was like, you have really small cheeks. And she's like pulling, like trying to wedge the thing in there that holds your mouth kind of open so they can take the picture, and she can't get the picture right. And I'm like, I'm about to barf on you. I'm about to retch on you, because the worst part for me for the dentist is the x-rays, because they stick that little thing and it like touches, I was pointing to the wrong spot, but that touches that,
it touches
spot past
the back
your
edge of your jaw, and it jabs into your jaw.
And then
I hate it too.
I'm gagging and my eyes are watering, and
I don't understand why you're gagging, because it's not in your throat at all. It's just it's just jabbing you in the cheek.
Anything that's, and of course I'm sure people will make jokes about, my
gag reflex,
my challenges in the bedroom because of that, but
why are you sure of that?
Because it's immediately, I don't know, probably my mom went there one time.
I think only certain people
just
will do
my
that.
mom.
I don't know if our audience is super,
maybe not.
I think that's maybe more of like a boomer kind of.
But like I gag sometimes when I'm brushing my teeth and I'm not even brushing my tongue, but it's just a little too far back for me, and it's holding your mouth open. And I'm telling her, like, jokingly, like, I have a sensitive gag reflex. And I was like, I'm getting to the edge here, kind of like, fucking figure it out. Because I cannot sit here for 5 more x-ray shots. And also, I'm probably getting some kind of poisoning. I don't know how x-rays work these days. But then when they're doing the exam and they're, like, trying to, like, pull my mouth and, like, get the camera. What were they doing? They were, like, he had the mirror, which is, like, the stem or whatever you call it. The handle is, like, kind of small. And it's, like, wrenching my mouth like this. And then when he's getting in there with the floss, because he put filling whatever in it, and then he's got to like break some of it off and like and he's like, right, and I'm like, when he gets that floss down and it finally goes, he's gonna slice my gums. I don't know. Is it just a thing? They just have to go like you said?
It could also be because it's a man. Because No,
my last dentist was a woman. She did it too. It was like it, and they use your mouth and your head sometimes to like leverage, like, and they'll be pushing. My last dentist, or the one before, she would sometimes be pushing so hard on my lip, and I'm like, my tooth is gonna slice my lip in a second. It's like they just forget, and they're just like, well, we'll use this cheek as leverage, and then just like
they're just seeing you as a prop instead of a person that
I'm just
feels,
a piece of meat.
I have feelings. That's what you should do next time.
Yeah, fuck. And then he's like,
I am a sentient being.
Well, and then the dentist is like, he's talking to his assistant, but then occasionally he's talking to me, but he's not saying like Sarah. And then, so at one point they tell me to bite down, and then he's like, okay, but he's talking to the assistant. So then I start to bite down, and I'm like, you got to be really clear with your directions. because I'm going to bite you. You know, like just, or they talk to you, but like your mouth is full of fingers and things and you can't respond. And you're like trying to swallow with your mouth wide open. And then you're like, why are you trying to have a do you expect me to respond? Oh, God.
I actually had an experience like that with a dentist he was like a sit-in for my regular dentist. That's not important. I don't know why I even mentioned it, but
he didn't know you. He didn't have that relationship.
He wasn't
with
the
you,
same
maybe.
dentist I had all the time. I had him like once.
That's important. Yeah.
So he shows up. I think he's doing like a filling or something. So he pops that stupid mouth guard on me where they have only one tooth exposed.
Oh.
And it's like this blue
like rubber kind of
rubber bit, like circular rubber thing, and all he can see is like a rubber circle, my eyes, and my tooth popping through it.
That is such a funny visual.
Well, what is annoying about that is he starts like fucking with me. He's like,
oh, no.
He's like showing me in the mirror what I look like.
Wow.
And talking to me while I'm like, I have a tooth poking through this plastic thing, and he's like, look at you. He's like, look at you.
Looking all stupid and shit.
I forget exactly what he said, but he showed me myself in the mirror, which was just like,
so he made you feel like a buffoon.
Like, how humiliating.
Yeah.
And then he starts asking me a question like how do
not
you,
a yes or no question.
How do you feel or something like that, and it's like, you know, I can't answer you fuck, you fucking punk ass. It's like, just because you're unhappy, you gotta make me unhappy.
I mean, I think they definitely try to like help you stay dignified, apart from the fact that you've like also got like this bib on.
No, this guy was fucking with me.
But I'm saying, like, I think that would be quite frowned upon. For sure.
I didn't really care. I got over it pretty quickly. But when I was trying to talk to him, somehow I was more annoyed by that. It's like, you know, I can't talk, and me trying to talk is like
you're more annoyed by that than the fact that he's like making you into a clown.
I think because I was laughing, it was like fine.
How old were you?
Grown ass man.
Because it's weird. Like, maybe he's a child dentist. Because, like, for, like, a 10-year-old, that might be hilarious. But for, like, a 25-year-old or a 40-year-old, like...
I think I was, like...
I'd be like, what are you doing?
I was, like, probably early 20s.
Oh, my gosh.
But,
that's pretty funny.
Just showing me myself in the mirror, and all I see is my eyes and this big rubber blue circle with one tooth popping through it.
Oh, I would like to see that. Oh, man, what a dick.
Yeah, pretty special.
Yeah. Anyway, I really like. You're gonna be okay. Yeah. I've never heard you tell that story before. Sometimes I feel like you've probably heard all my stories like 3
I don't think
times
I've told you any dentist stories. I can't.
Do you have more? I was gonna move on to a different topic later, but
they might come up. I don't know. I don't really think about them.
You just never know what's gonna come bubbling up in your brain, or just completely blank. Like a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Gosh, cool. Well, I just thought it was funny. Like, it just seems like my universal experience of like, am I gonna come away with like a split lip or just bleeding? You know, more than usual, because
I've never really had that issue.
It's just weird. Sometimes it just feels like they're like, I half expect them to just lean on my face with, you know, their forearm to like. Argh.
That's crazy. It might be because you have a small mouth, but
and then he's told me. He told me something about what do you say about your jaw's strong or something from, you know, all the talking you must do or something. I think we had developed very quickly developed a little bit of a rapport. So it was like a little jokey, you know, he was a nice guy. But it was like, nice. That took me aback a little bit because it was a little bit.
From all the talking
maybe hit a nerve, do. Like.
Like, you have no idea.
I almost like went like this, but I was like, we're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
My first visit. Maybe I'll flip him off on the second visit.
And you can't really.
I guess I should describe for the listeners what I'm talking about.
That's true. Flipping him off.
Yeah.
And you can't really smile or anything.
Right.
So it's like he might take it as like a real, you know.
Yeah. It's just funny. It's just a funny, like, because they always seem so happy. But is that a myth? The whole statistic around suicide, is that still a thing? Because
who are you asking? I don't know.
Anyone who knows. Because
do you guys know?
Every time I go, they just seem like a happy office. So it must be all lies, you know?
It's possible.
A web of lies.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, they get people like vulnerable, and it can make jokes and stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's such a close, what would you call it?
Relationship? Like,
To have you laying on your back with your mouth open and them just like poking and prodding in your mouth. It's like definitely some trust is
well, it's kind of like what we
necessary.
talked about with your hairstylist, like getting, like, there's this, you have no prior relationship. Like, this is the first time I met the guy, and he is in my mouth. Like, his hands and his assistant's hands are in my mouth, and you know.
And that reminds me of a couple times I've had like male dentists with big like man hands.
Yeah.
Fucking hate that.
Yeah.
Like,
And he didn't, but it was still like, ow. Like, you're wrenching my, did you forget this is like a mouth?
I have
like,
had some
connected to my nerves.
man hands dentist, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, like, are there 100 fingers in my mouth right now? Oh, just 2?
Now you can do that trick where you fit your fist in your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But I did have a female dentist that did some cleaning, and oh my God, she was using those
I hate the scraping thing.
knives.
Oh, my God, it's the worst.
I am used to them for like a normal amount of scraping, but she was going to town.
There's other tools in your repertoire.
She was going to town, and she kept slipping and hitting my gum.
Oh.
Like over and over and over and over and over again. And she was like, I kept going, ah! You know how you're like, ah, ah.
Yeah.
And I kept like kind of getting louder because like,
You're not taking the hint.
take the fucking hint. Ah.
Yeah.
Take the hint.
Ah! God. Well, I think even just in the last few years, I feel like dentistry has come a long way because, you know, now they have this little wand that's like a camera, and they just have all like...
Oh, they don't just have the mirrors?
No.
There's the like...
No.
You know, Indiana Jones.
Right.
Indiana Jones? What am I thinking of?
I'm trying to...
Aren't there movies where guys use like mirrors in prison or something?
I can't...
That's not Indiana Jones at all.
No, but it feels like something he would do. But he probably... Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
Moving on.
mirrors. They have to stick these mirrors into the back of your...
So they were able to, you know, take a picture in my mouth of the before, showing the hole where the filling came out and just showing how the enamel's worn away. And then when they were done, they put the camera in my mouth and just showed me like live on the screen.
That's
cool. Which
cool.
isn't like super, but it's just...
No, but I don't think I've been to the dentist since they've had that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty... And even the x-rays and everything, I mean, they just get it up right there on the computer. It's, you know, and all of the stuff they do, you know, with the teeth is just all electronic, and they have, you know, obviously, I mean, but I don't know. I just feel like it's come a long way, and they, but there's still like that degree of like hulking and wrenching on you. You're like, I mean, they kind of like have to use your face.
I have not experienced that yet at all.
Well, I've been to
it's
a lot.
It's always been like my lips cannot be pried open enough for, you know, man hands to fit in and be like finagling also tools. Yeah. And then they've got the thing down in like going, and they're like, close your mouth. And it's like,
and then it's,
and there's just,
I hate that.
There's just zero dignity at all.
I used to, and they let you control the thing, and then you try to keep your tongue out of the way, but of course your tongue gets stuck, and then it does the suction, and it's just nasty.
And it, you know, when somebody's in there like cleaning your teeth, I'm super aware of my tongue. So like I am holding my tongue back the entire time because I don't want to be accidentally like licking them or something weird. You know,
yeah, I got a mouthful of rubber today, or neoprene or whatever it was, and I was like, I think they have different gloves than my last dentist.
If you're just complacently just laying there, not thinking, just like looking at the ceiling, I could see myself just like, if there's something in my mouth, just like licking at it. Yeah. So, you know.
See that, yeah, and it's funny that you say that because I immediately close my eyes, and they give you the glasses because they have the light. They give you sunglasses.
Oh.
Now.
Back then they would just blind you.
Yeah. So I would just close my eyes partly because like I don't want to be making awkward eye contact with the doctor or the assistant or seeing nose hairs, you know.
Yeah, you don't want to be looking into your dentist's nose.
I'm more worried about like making awkward eye contact. Like, oh, I looked and then I have to like do a smile or what, I don't know. So I just close my eyes.
Do a smile. No, you just look horrified. Yeah. Just a gaping maw with horrified eyes.
Yeah.
That's how I go to the dentist.
See if they can handle it.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. You're horrible. Oh my god. That looks familiar.
What? I don't understand. What does that mean?
Just implying that that's like your sex face.
Oh my god.
just for the visual, he's got his mouth wide open and his tongue halfway out, and then the mouth heavy breathing.
And the really wide eyes.
Yeah.
Whites all the way around.
Your sclera, remember?
Sclera.
I thought it was sclera.
Oh, it is sclera.
Oh, fuck off.
I tried to correct you, but I was wrong.
The corrector has
There's one of
become the
those nuclear
correctee.
words.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, because I always thought it was sclera.
Oh, I don't think you mentioned that last time. You just made me feel like a fool.
sclera.
What should it be? Why does that? It seems like it should be like the part of an egg or something.
Which part?
Any.
The part of an egg.
Maybe it's because I'm thinking the white of the egg.
part.
Shut
Sclera?
up. I don't know.
I don't know what it sounds like.
I think I'm thinking of it because it surrounds your irises, pupils, like an
It's
egg
the white.
surrounds the yolk. That's probably why. That's how my weird dumb brain works.
Your brain's not dumb.
Thanks. So, what was the other thing we were going to talk about? Oh, your client. You gotta
Oh,
tell that.
yeah, I forgot.
That was a weird. I just squished my lip and it like squeezed out a lip fart. There was
That's
like a little
cool.
bit of air and it was like.
That's cool. So I had a client that wasn't a client. He wasn't a full client, but he was asking for work from me. So
You
he
gotta
asked-
explain that a little bit. I think, like the way you explained it to me. You know, your protocol for.
So I have a work profile, and I got invited to a job to draw cartoon, quote unquote, comedy, like funny cartoon devil. And so I told him explicitly, I do not do sample artwork unless I do not do free work unless you have awarded me the contract. Then I'm happy to do a little bit of free sketching for you to like show you what I can do before you've laid any money down. I'm happy to do that. So he didn't read that.
So basically, no tire kickers. Is that kind of? I mean, do they kind of?
I'm
go
not
around
gonna
to
do
other
fucking
people?
free work if you aren't gonna give me the fucking job.
Okay, all right.
Unless you're like a big studio name, you can't do that.
I
in
feel
my
like
opinion.
you're talking to me like I'm the guy. Like you're projecting a little.
No, I'm
getting
just
annoyed.
I'm just saying you
Yes.
outwardly.
Just the way you looked at me, it looked.
To
there's
all
a little bit of
clients.
anger in there.
If you, I lost my train of thought.
Okay.
If you haven't awarded me the contract, I'm not going to do any work. Because people can just go around saying, hey, I'd like these sample sketches drawn up, and then they just get a bunch of free concept work. And they can use that if they wanted to. And people would probably forget, and if their project's small, like, you know, you're not going to even probably be able to pursue any kind of legal action because you probably won't even figure out what freaking game or whatever it's from. So I told him, yeah, I don't do any free work unless you give me the contract. And he just ignored it, didn't fucking read it, didn't read my messages, and just said, so can you do a sample drawing for me? And I was like, fucking whatever. Okay. It'll take like a small amount of time. So I was like, send me your references or whatever. Send me whatever details you need to send me so I know what to draw.
And again, what was his initial description of the character that he wanted?
Funny, comedy, cartoon, devil.
Okay.
So he sends me these reference images that are all over the place. There's one that is like an old man looking devil that looks like a wizard. The design is sort of like that 70s style wizard drawing, you know, kind of almost realistic. One is like a sketch of like a 90s looking bumper sticker style devil. And another one's like a very cartoon styled like a logo almost graphic, and the last one was like a Bob's Burger looking fucking devil. They were all over the place.
I think you said the last one was like a child. What did you say it looked like?
The third one looked like a baby
Oh, okay.
because it was like a baby logo design of a devil, and there was no consistency at all through any of them for art style, for anything.
Yeah.
So
Were they not all red?
I think the Bob's Burger style one was like
A little purple or something?
was kind of like pinkish.
Oh, yeah.
And the first one was it was Caucasian
Uh-huh.
skin tone. And So I was like, what do I do with this?
Yeah, I looked at it and I'm not obviously an artist, and I'm just like, they're completely different.
Yeah.
Like, it's like they thought you didn't know what a devil was. And so they just had to send you a bunch of devil pictures.
Well, and that's the problem, I think, with doing smaller jobs is that they're not an art director. They're not hiring an art director because either they don't have the budget or they just don't care enough to, or they think they can handle the task. So you run into problems like this, because they don't know how to manage an art department or manage their art. So when I say art style, I mean, what art style do you want? It should be pretty straightforward, but so yeah, he didn't really understand, and so I drew just a devil, just like a cartoon devil that looked fucking stupid. His eyes were pointed in different
Didn't look
directions.
that bad. I thought he was
He
quite
looked
dapper.
He looked like he was just like staring off into the abyss. Big fat lip. You guys know my art style,
Yeah.
probably.
Did he see? I'm gonna have to look at him again because I don't even remember.
Super short, super tiny, short little arms with big long legs. He looked like a fucking doofus. So yeah, I drew that up for him, and I gave him an honest message.
I feel like you have to read the message because
Yeah, I can do that.
told Brandon, I said, I totally understand where you're coming from, but I think you were having a hard day or just had reached your limit because I've never seen this kind of direct, just done.
It pissed me off that he couldn't be bothered to read my message about, I do not do
Yeah.
free work until you give
Yeah.
me the contract.
But the problem is that you then proceeded to do the exact thing you said you weren't gonna, and that's probably what he's used to by just playing dumb and just bulldozing through. And
That's possible. And that's another thing coming back to, if he isn't a lying piece of shit who just wants to steal free work, it's a problem with people who don't have experience dealing with artists to not understand what they're looking at. So like if I send my portfolio to an art director, they know what they're getting. They know that they're going to get, decent art that can fit what they're looking for. Whereas somebody who's working on a small project who doesn't really know anything about art, has no art experience, art directing experience, anything like that, they have no idea. That's why samples are such a thing. I mean, Upwork even fucking tells clients, like, feel free to ask for samples. It's like, fuck you. Just look at the artist's portfolios to tell what they're capable of.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what you're looking at, hire an art director. Bite the bullet and pay a little bit for an art director to figure out what you need. So yeah, let's see this message. So he sends me all these freaky fucking references. And then I send him the stupid devil who's frowning and has a soul patch, and he just looks ridiculous. Because he wants a funny cartoon devil. I gave him what he asked for.
Give him exactly what he asked for.
So I said, those reference images don't have a single harmonized direction, which was just clear. I was just being blunt.
Yes, you were.
They are all very different from each other, so I don't understand what you want. But I drew a cartoon devil for you anyway. And then I just sent the devil to him. And then he blocked me.
Yeah. Didn't even respond. And that's what makes me think that maybe he did just want to steal your sample. That it wasn't because he was mad or hurt or whatever.
It's possible, but I think because I was blunt, bordering on rude,
Open to interpretation.
It's possible that he blocked me because of that. So if I sent the image and was like, is this kind of what you're looking for? It would be more down to like, yeah, he's just ripping people off for concept sketches. So yeah.
I kind of, my eyes kind of widened when I saw that because I was like, Brandon's usually pretty polite, even when he's annoyed. Even when it's like someone's pushing, and that was like, I'm done with this shit today. Maybe that was the day the dryer broke. I don't know.
I just couldn't be bothered. No, I was kind of testing the waters a little bit to see if he could handle bluntness because
Clearly couldn't.
I work with clients that are very blunt with me. They'll say some shit that's borderline rude and sometimes rude. And, I just go, okay. A lot of the time I'll just laugh it off because okay, I'm not like attached emotionally
Yeah.
to this drawing I sent you. Like, I'm doing work for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a punk and, like, you know, make, like, rude comments.
Yeah.
But I get over it pretty quickly. I don't even remember, like, specific comments. But, so yeah, I mean, if clients can say that to me and I can get over it, I thought maybe I could be a little bit blunt with this guy and he could just, you know,
well, like,
get
maybe
over himself a little bit.
I mean, because I just thought, like, yeah, maybe he, I don't know, maybe he misunderstood or something, but clearly that's not what's going on. It might be funny to post the pictures on the podcast page, like as a YouTube post.
Yeah, or we could post them in the video or whatever. I'd be happy to post them because any artist.
Might be fun. Is post the pictures and then post your sketch.
Yeah, we could post it all. But I posted the comment and everything. I posted it all to the Facebook group, Digital Artists group, and everybody was pretty much on my side about the references. I mean, everybody absolutely was on my side about the references.
Just not necessarily about the message.
But not about the message. They were like, you could have been a little more diplomatic, a little nicer. And
but you're like, look, the guy basically asked for a sample when, you know, free work.
When I told him I didn't do free work. That.
And then he just decided to disregard that.
Yep.
And ask again.
Yep. So you can get my bluntness, but man.
Yeah.
Like, block me? Because I was kind of excited to do this. Like, I drew this stupid ass devil. But, like, I was kind of excited to, you know, to draw him out.
Aw.
But...
Based on the sketch you did? Like, you were hoping that he would just like that and you could go with that?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, my gosh. That's funny.
I'm sorry, but you say comedy...
No, I know.
Funny drawing. Like, these guys he sent me are not comedy. None of these guys are funny looking. The Bob's Burger one is kind of, I guess.
You're calling it a Bob's Burger one, but...
It looks like a Bob's... It looks... somewhat like a Bob's Burger character, except he's an egg. He's an egg shape.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think that's like, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's a show that's from, that's reminding me of. Like
Ugly Americans or something?
Maybe. Maybe you should just fully render that, you know, sketch. And then you could, like, post it and put it on your art station. So then it's clear if you've posted it, you know.
And if he ever checks my art station...
Because you didn't pay for it.
I could also mention him. Just be like, this fucking douchebag client.
Yeah. And it just goes around the art community. And
I don't think many people will really, you know.
It would be funny, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, his loss.
The struggles of
I think it's a good
doing art for people.
Good growth moment for you. Because the only reason I'm really taken aback is, like, because you never speak like that. But if that came from, like, a New Yorker, I'd be like, okay. Like, a little abrasive for me, but, you know.
Well, again, it's just because he was rude to begin with, and I was just kind of testing.
I'm saying, I think it's, like, it's just out of character, and so it's a little more, for me, like, whoa.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that it's inappropriate. It's just very direct. And, like, you clearly, like, you're kind of wasting my time with this, just pulling reference images out of your ass and out of the air, and... expecting me to come up with something.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have just taken, like, pieces. That's what you could have done for your sketch, is just taken pieces of everyone and just, like, squished them together.
People who are non-artists will look at these and be like, what the hell? They're all over the place. They make no sense. How are you supposed to get something out of this? How are you supposed to draw one design from all these? And it's not like he was like, oh... yeah, so take the horns from this one, take the nose from this one, this and that.
Yeah.
No, it was just, here are the reference images, and just a clump of just random guys. And I wouldn't be so annoyed and shitting on this guy if he hadn't blocked me. Yep. So that was my experience.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I've had worse.
Yeah. Would you change how you handled it?
I don't think so.
Good. That's the important thing. You acted with integrity.
Thanks.
Good job.
And I was only blunt. I wouldn't call that rude.
Sorry.
Would you call that rude? Those reference images don't have a single harmonized direction.
Harmonized?
Yeah. They are all very different from each other, so I don't understand what you want. I drew a cartoon devil for you anyway. I gave him free ass work.
Yeah, you did.
And you're blocking me? Fuck you. I wasn't...
It's bad karma,
Do you think that's rude?
I think some of the words you chose were just a little more aggressive or truculent, maybe.
Fucking truculent.
Is that the word? Yeah. Like, okay,
Is
so
that
read
the
it
word?
again. It's the way you were like a single. I don't.
Yeah,
you
no.
know,
I think
that-
that you could read it the wrong way.
Yeah.
These reference images don't have a single harmonized direction.
If you said these references don't have a harmonized direction, that would just be like direct.
I just wanted to be very clear. Those reference images don't have a single harmonized direction.
Yeah.
I wasn't intending it to come off as super rude.
I think you were trying to be very clear.
very clear, very direct, because he clearly doesn't super know what he's doing in this position.
And then I just think if you were like word wanking, you know, and being trying to be like
and
diplomatic, like you'd say, I don't understand what you're looking for. I don't understand what you'd like, but it's like I don't understand what you want is like when you are frustrated with someone and you're going, I don't understand what you want.
And
what?
I was
your hand wall that's like
no, I'm like pointing.
Very
pointing
tense.
to the screen.
Okay.
And I was being blunt because this ding dong couldn't be bothered to read my previous message, which
said,
I guess was too long.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I actually did give him a pretty huge message.
Oh, that thing you always tell me not to do. Huh.
Well, to be fair, his I'm pretty sure his, what do you call it? The job description, I think, was pretty long.
Oh, well. Yeah, not a loss.
Fucking ass hair.
Yeah, I think we should post those images.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right. Tell us about any of your weird client or contract artist, freelance artist experiences.
If you've dealt with any fucking annoying, stupid artists.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, we exist.
Well, people, if artists are people, you're going to have some dumb ones.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you want to do any kind of cool, clever sign off?
I have got nothing. I'm just going to be honest with you. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, and all that jazz. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
We won't see you, but you'll hear us, and we hope you'll listen.
I think they knew what you meant.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. I don't know why I said thanks. Thanks for being a part of this.